right. Well, hello, my fabulous peeps. Oh, look at all these little life is life and oh, but my goodness gracious. Well, hello, my fabulous peeps, and happy day. I know you're probably like, where's she been? Right? See videos here and there. What has been happening? So I want to share with you all that has been happening and give you the latest and great. Oops. Ooh, 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 ooh. Can't move that one. Cannot move that one. That cannot move that one. Oh, okay. Let's fix my little station over here before I go to the nitty and gritty of what's been happening and keep you. There we go. All right. So what has been happening in these amazing streets? You why you haven't seen me enough, right? Have you haven't seen me enough? So I wanted to just share with you what has been happening these last couple of months, because the last couple of months have been crazy busy for me and my family. So my family and I, we moved. Um, Thank you, Jesus, for his amazing opportunity into into a bigger space for our families expanded. And then on top of that, and I know if you saw little videos, clips here and there, my my mom and myself went to Jamaica. So those of you that don't know, we have a mission retreat center. Hello there in Jamaica. And so that was started by my father over 27 years ago. And for those of you that don't know, last year he passed 7 weeks after my brother passed. And so with that being said, we are still on the mission of keeping the ministry alive and going. So we had to go to Jamaica. So we moved in September, October. We went to Jamaica and we were only supposed to go there for 5 days, and it ended up being for 2 weeks because we got caught in the hurricane, a very long hurricane. Which thank God we were there because we were able to offer help. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. We were able to offer help to the people that were in Jamaica that's at the retreat center. They're not at the retreat center, but they live close by, and it's in a community that is in the country. Okay. And so we were able to really kind of see and experience and the need, hence the drive that we've been doing. And so we came back on a mission to really just kind of help out because a rebuilding needs to happen fast in a hurry. They still do not have lights in the area in which we have our retreat center. We do have solar at our retreat center, so that has helped in lighting, charging things. They can come to the center, and what happened. We have a great staff and people who are just helping out while we are not there. Well, hello, hi to you too. So, with that being said, so we're just keeping things moving and just navigating our new norm and just getting into a routine. When you move, things are discombobulated, so crazy, and just trying to get into a routine. It's been challenging, right? It's really been challenging, but I thank God that now we're at a place where I'm navigating, getting into a routine, because for those of you that don't know, I'm a wife. I'm a mom to three amazing young ladies, then a entrepreneur, then a daughter, and all these hats that I have to wear and still be sane for myself in the process. And sometimes that don't always happen. Okay. Right? But I thank God for the opportunity. Hello to you too. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Monroe. Thank you. For those of you that are coming, Kelly, thank you, thank you. Vows, thank you, Theo. Thank you, Chris. All of you that are here, thank you for joining in with me to kind of find out what's moving and grooving and what's happening as well. And so we are still in the grind because there's still a lot of rebuilding that needs to be happening and just helping the transition that a lot of people are experiencing from the loss of Hurricane Melissa. And sometimes just the whole drama with shipping out items because we just did our first shipment last week, and we're doing another one on December 10th. So and getting that together. So if you have anything, diapers, tarp, food, clothing. Now, let me say this about clothing. Now, if it's clothing that you don't want to wear, okay, you have no intention of wearing, it's outdated or it's dirty or it's smelly, we don't want it. Plain and simple, okay? Don't send your hot mess stuff. Send that to Goodwill. Don't send it here, okay? Because it's a reflection on our ministry um, as well. Gently used clothing is very appreciated and not stinky clothing. Sometimes you just never know what people give and they donating, and it's a reflection of your heart as well. Because I think that it would be something that you want to receive. Would you want to receive stuff like that? Now, I'm sure you would not. Okay, so be mindful of that, and of course, still being a life coach, a financial life coach, which is what one of the things I truly love doing because I love it even more so of what my family and I experienced last year with the loss of my brother and my father, and this year being the second um, Thanksgiving without them. It's always like I look at their pictures, and sometimes some days I'm in shock because I always picture things in such a different far different way, and it was not. And so that's why I was really intentional on this Thanksgiving, which is one of my favorite holidays. Thanksgiving is really my one of my favorite holidays, and that's because I had such great memories growing up with my family and family gatherings as well. And so I did not want it to be just my family and stuff, my mom, my husband, my children. I want it to be with my family and friends who continue to support us, and love it, and just celebrate who we still have. And these are the moments which you have to be so intentional when you've lost a loved one, and holidays, because holidays are hard. Let me tell you, holidays are hard, and so that you have to be that much more intentional in what you do with your time without that loved one, because it can either lead you down a place of doom and gloom and despair, or it can lead you in a place where you can reflect, you can appreciate the good memories that you have, you can appreciate the stories, right? And everybody, everybody sharing different stories and experience. You can appreciate those things, and thank God that you have those stories to reflect on as well. And this is a time where you feel like you start analyzing where you are in your life, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and financially, right? Because it is a journey and it's a process, but I'm thankful. I'm really really thankful for this time in this season. And so with that being said, how we continue to move forward? Well, one of the things is that um, my time and how I spend my time with myself and my family. And sometimes when you're in a place of memories and hoping and praying, you can get really caught up in so many things, really and truly. So, as I said, I'm really, really just thankful for great family support and how they navigate life and supporting us, and how important it is to support other people. That's why for me, when I think about a person that loses a loved one, first of all, you never get over, right? People always say, oh, you'll get over it. You never get over it. Okay, so that's foolishness. Okay, but God helps you to get through, right? This is where you're intentional of how you spend your time with yourself and your loved ones, right? You don't get consumed of who you don't have. You get consumed of who you still have to love on and to celebrate with them. And so I was even saying to today, as I got a letter in the mail, and it was to invited to a wedding, and I was like, yes, because I don't want to go to no more funerals, right? I want to go to weddings, baby shower, celebration of birthday, retirement, anything that celebration of some type of life or newness. That is what I want to go to, right? And I've been praying for that. And I got this notification, and I was like, "Yes, this is exciting. This makes me very very happy because I for myself and my family. I don't want to keep going coming when we come together. It's for a funeral, right? I want to celebrate while we still have breath in our bodies, a mind to think, right? So this is where you're very intentional, and this is where I'm intentional too, as a financial life coach, in resources and making sure people's financial house is built right and tight. And what does that mean for them? Because I say it once, I say it twice. If my family did not have things in place, right, the devastation of my brother and my father would rock our house. I mean, it rocked it, but I'm talking about our financial house, okay? Because when you have to do something, a funeral 7 weeks after one, and you just spent a whole bunch of money, and you've got to do that same thing again, it's rough. Let me tell you. So then I say this to you: what are you doing to make sure your financial house is built right and tight? Do you understand what it means to have it built right and tight? What things need to be in place? What things need to be in place? Because I can tell you, it doesn't take a whole lot to start, but it's the hardest thing to start, right? It's the hardest thing to put a plan in action, because maybe you feel as though, oh no, if I do this, it's going to keep me bound. I can't enjoy my life. But if you do this, you'll get to really enjoy your life that much more, because God desires for us to prosper, even as our soul prospers and being good. And there is multiple layers in making sure your house is built right and tight. Multiple layers, and there are simple layers, right? But hello, hey, bro. They're simple layers, but needless to say, they're layers, right? That has to be done. That has to be done, and they have to be done sooner than later, because if life happens unexpectedly, my response to you is, are you ready for the unexpected? Are you ready? Hey, fabulous! I see your beautiful, your my little goddaughter. You see, I'm camera. She looks so beautiful. Cannot believe that she's in 12th grade. That's crazy. Look at God. Look at God's divine miracle. Gosh, that's just so beautiful. So beautiful, right? And so, being at a distinguished age, in the 50s, people often feel as though they can't save, they can't invest, right? This is too late. It's not too late. When there is life, there is hope. Where there is life, there is hope. No matter what stage you are in your life, where there is life, there is hope, right? You can get your financial house right and tight and enjoy the rest of your life. So for me, my mantra is that to make sure that the rest of my life is the best of my life, and not just for me, but for my family, as well. That we can continue to enjoy each other's company in the process, really and truly. And so, when it comes to, as we all are in the festivities season now, right? It's Christmas. Okay, fabulous. Okay, looking forward to chatting with you soon too, love. And this festivity. You like my bracelet, Laura? By the way, you like my bracelet? My daughter's. This is from one of my. This is from my daughter's jewelry line. Do you see it? Because yes, I'm teaching these babies entrepreneurship. Okay, financial literacy now. Because I don't give allowance. My allowance is, I allow you to sleep here, eat the food here. I allow you to have a roof over your head. That's your allowance. So I don't do allowance or whatever. Okay, they have to earn. Okay, they have to earn. So when they sell their jewelry, guess what? They earn it. And then I take that money. I don't take the money, okay? I take a portion of it to go back in the business. Well, first of all, to pay tithes. Hallelujah, for sure. And then it goes into their investment. So they're paying their self first, where I talk about it. Okay. And then they can save the rest to do something what they want to do. But they have to make sure they pay their tithes, and it goes in their investment as well. We have to teach our children that. We have to teach our children that money is a tool, and that money has the ability, is supposed to be, it's a tool that's supposed to be worked. Okay. Okay. We have to do that. We have to teach that. And that's where it talks about being financial house. For those of you that don't know too, I homeschool my children. I do have a micro school, and I teach that to our students on financial literacy, as though they are like preparing for adulthood. Because the reality is, if I knew what I know now when I went up to college, baby, I would have said no to those credit cards they would dangle, say you're getting free money, and then the bill comes and you're like, "Ooh, this is not free. Ooh, I got no money for this." I'm a college student trying to figure this out myself. But our parents didn't know. No fault of theirs. But now that I know better, I'm teaching my children, right, what it means to build the financial house, right, and tie. Hello, Kobe. Hey, everybody, fabulous people. Hi to you. Hello to you. Blessings on you. Blessings. Thank you for coming in and joining in as I just talk about the latest and greatest, as it relates to building that financial house, right and tight. Right. What's the foundation? Protecting your greatest asset. Do you know what your greatest asset is? Do you know what your greatest asset is? Anybody? Do you know what your greatest asset is? It's not your home, it's not your car. Your greatest asset. Your greatest asset is your income. Why is your income your greatest asset? You may ask. Do you know why? Do you know why your income is your greatest assets? Because yes, it's your income that pays for the food, clothing, and shelter, making sure that your family is provided for, that you're provided for. If you have no income, then you can't have food, clothing, and shelter. You have nothing to pay it. So you have to protect that. You have to protect that from the unexpected, and you have to put yourself in the position that money, that you are controlling money and money is not controlling you. That you are in a position that no matter what the winds and the rains may come, your financial house won't crumble, right? Because of a situation, a incident, life is lifing, okay? And so it's a foundation, right? A foundation of making sure your greatest asset, which is your income, as I share, is protected. Making sure that if someone is depending on your money, whether it's yourself, right, if you're single, whether if you're single with children, your children, whether you are married, your spouse, whether you are married with children, it's your spouse and your children. All of those things are in place, right? That you have the ability to send money from heaven. And when I used to hear about that, my premise was just like, oh my gosh, I do not want to talk about that at all, because who wants to talk about dying? Nobody. We want to talk about living, which I'm focused on. I'm focused on living with the mindset of, okay, reality is life does happen. Experience it, because I remember, in 2008, 2009, when our financial market crashed, my husband and myself crashed with it. We had 13 investment properties. We end up losing 11 out of them, whether it was through short sale, foreclosures. Then on top of it, we got sued, so we had to file for bankruptcy. You talking about financial hospitals being rocked at that particular time, because we didn't know whether we were coming or going. And that really put us in a position of where we are now, that we truly had to understand what it means having your financial house right and tight, and what it means to understand the money game, what it means to really pay yourself first. Because if I know now what I know then, the money that I would have poured into my husband and myself in trying to save the properties, we would have let them go sooner than later, and really start to build immediately. But we didn't. We were so keen on trying to hold on to those properties, and they were sucking us dry. It was devastation, and we still had to let them go. We still had to let them go. Oh yes. And so we also know that now that we know better, that is for us to help others to know better as well and to do better so you can truly live a prosperous life, which God has designed you to live a prosperous life because He says so in His Word, right? He designed for you to prosper even as your soul prosper and be in good health. And so you start by, as to the foundation, in making sure, hey, Savior, I just saw that you are. Hey, I'm so thirsty. I think that went down the wrong one. Making sure your house is built right and tight. So good to see you. I pray all is well with you and your family. It's been a while. We still out here in these streets though, and making sure that people understand the money game because it is a game, and that everyone can be a very active participant and win, no matter where you are in your life. It's never too late when there is life. It's never too late. All right, my fellas, peace. So, whew, get myself together so we can get on this bandwagon of building a financial house right and tight. What that means, some things that you can do. So just everyday things like the other day. Okay, so I did Thanksgiving at our home, had family over and what have you. And so, it can, everybody, some people brought some items, but I also cook. I actually enjoy cooking. And I cooked, but I realized too that some things we got to figure out how we're going to manage it. So if you go to Restaurant Depot, even if you do not have or a business, you can still go and you can get a day pass. So I bought a box of chicken of leg quarters. It was a big box. It was 40 pounds and it was like $22. I also bought some oxtails that I still have some. And I actually cut my finger chopping it because I didn't cut it in the groove when I was starting out. But anyways, and that box, which was a nice size, because oxtails is expensive just for a small pack, could be like 20 something dollars, and I paid. I'm gonna share that video. I paid like $103 for like 3 legs. Okay, that I'm still gonna be using for Christmas. Because I put those bad boys in the freezer. I use some for Thanksgiving, use it for Christmas. I can use it from others as well. Because let me tell you, hey, sissy, we have to do those things to make sure the money's sure. Because listen, inflation is real. Let me tell you, inflation is real, but doesn't mean that we cannot continue to enjoy our lives. We just have to learn how to navigate it and use our resources wisely and understand how to stretch the dollar. Okay? Because we got to make it stretch. And still, as I said, enjoy life. Because I'm about that. I'm about that. I'm about enjoying life. I'm about enjoying life. I'm about to make sure that no matter what, the foundation is building a financial house, which is what income protection, right? Protecting the greatest asset. That's important. That's important. That's important. See, because you see my sign that says right there, it's backward. It says live by faith. Live by faith. So each day we are living by faith, not by sight, and we're living intentionally. That the rest of the rest of our lives is the best of our lives. Unapologetically, by God's grace and mercy. All right, my fellas peeps. So I'll share a little more about my story. Just keep it locked because I have a lot of good things coming up. Just to help you to navigate in building your financial house right and tight. Some things that you could put into place, whether you are single with children, married with children, what things you need to be having in place and understand it as well. Because let me tell you, The hardest thing is to start. But when you get started, and not only getting started, but with the proper plan that works for you, all right? Because there's not a one size fits all that works for you and how you navigate life. It creates a win-win. Win-win. And we're about winning. All right, my fellas peeps. So, like I always say, remember to pray, plan, and believe because God is still in the business of doing miracles. Make it a great day. Bye, fellas peeps.